Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist, and we listen to all of their records, and we rank them from worst to best, and we give our biggest banger from each of them. This week we're doing At the Drive-In, and so we're going to rank actually all 4 of their full-length records and I believe 5 of their EPs to equal out to 9 rankings altogether. And but before we do that, we're going to do our 6 degrees of Tom DeLonge, if you even did it this week, because I did not. Did you?
Oh, I did not also. I forgot.
Okay. So never mind. We are not going to do the 6 degrees of Tom DeLonge. I guess we're going to jump right into our album rankings. So yes, we're going to do their EPs as well as their full lengths and their biggest banger from each of them. So what do you got for number 9, Jeff? Go.
Niner.
Yes.
El Gran Orgo.
El
EP
Gran-
from 97. This is
Okay.
what their third EP. Yeah,
Yes,
this is
their
their third
third
EP. Dude, rough. Very, very rough. And I listened to all of the EPs mostly actually I listened to all of the EPs while at the gym, except for Diamante because I was on Spotify. And Via was on Spotify. So I listened at the gym. That way I separated them so that way I wasn't tempted to hate them more because I'm doing other things or getting bored. Right? When you're at the gym, like you put YouTube on, you don't have to worry about clicking stuff. Whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
There was not a lot here for me to really get into. Like these songs are just fucking rough sounding, as well as they are hectic in a way that sounds like messy and sloppy without like any of the At the Drive-In charm. This is the first one I think that Omar joined the band and he's playing bass. So there's already like a massive change in direction on how these songs are being played.
Mm-hmm.
But like overall, I think this EP is I think this EP is bad. I don't like it. The massive outlier on this one is Fahrenheit. This is the only song on here that could have been like an LP release track. It's a banger of a song. I wish I could playlist it, but I can't because Spotify won't let me. But the band split with their label at this point, right, and encouraged fans to illegally download the EP because they hated their label so much and didn't want to put any money in their pockets.
Yeah.
But I thought El Gran Orgo was a transitory period, and I don't like it.
Okay. I disagree with you, but I guess we'll get into that soon. My number 9 is El Paso, their first EP from 1994. This is just a punk album, really. It's spastic. It's kind of wild and crazy. I like this. I still like it. I think it's fun, but it's not representative of the band really whatsoever. Cedric doesn't really sound like he does in the future on future releases, but it's still fun. It's still great. And at this point, it's only from the classic lineup, it's only Cedric and Jim in the band. And I don't know, man. I dig it. I like the song "Emptiness is a Mule." That's a really good one. But in the end, all the songs kind of flow. They're just kind of like meshed together. But dude, can you imagine seeing them in 1994 touring on this EP in fucking El Paso? Can you imagine that shit? It must have been insane.
Yeah,
fucking
of course.
Insane. Oh, but El Paso, yeah, this is like you said. This EP is not on any of the main streaming sites, so it's bootlegged and it's on my want list. The vinyl is on my want list along with all the EPs. Outside of Diamante, because I already have it. But they're fucking pricey. It's like $60, $70, $80 for this shit. It's wild.
I'll tell you when I start to want these on the vinyls.
Okay.
I'll let you know when.
Probably next, because I think you only dislike El Gran Orgo. I think that's the only one.
You're right.
But
I only dislike that one.
So all the rest you get on vinyl. You would. Anyway, so what do you got for number 8? Go.
El Paso, 94. Yeah, this is just a more post-hardcore sounding Alfaro. And both of those albums, or both those EPs, I mean, it's just very straightforward, like Fugazi sounding. It's good, but it's very much of that genre. They have not carved their own little niche into that genre yet. It's just very chord-driven rock. And I think like that chord shit, like that's Jim, right? Right? Is that what's happening here? Because like the first track on Sparta's Wiretap Scars, the fucking Cut Your Ribbon, right? That starts off the same way, like that chord-driven, that ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
So like Jim's always done the chord stuff.
Yeah,
right?
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
And like the tone is the same on El Paso here as he still does on Wiretap Scars. I listened to Wiretap Scars this week. It's not that great. Couple songs on there are fucking absolutely beyond bangers. But like overall, Sparta's just not that great of a band. No offense. Sorry. Whatever.
It's true though. They're a weak band.
I do love that sound. I do love all the chord stuff that he's doing. But I think it's just kind of like a one direction for this genre. Mm-hmm. Like you're not going to be Fugazi, so like why try and sound like Fugazi? And
why would you want to sound like Fugazi? Too?
Fugazi's fucking great. You're fucking silly boy talk. But you're not going to sound like Fugazi, regardless if you think are bad or good. You're not going to sound like Fugazi, so why try to do it? You got to do something different. And they will do something different. And El Gran Orgo is doing something different, but they just didn't quite, they're not quite there yet.
That's crazy that I can't believe you put it so low.
El Paso, I would not buy this on the vinyls.
I did know somebody a couple of years ago who did have El Paso on vinyl. She had everything. She had all At the Drive-In stuff.
That's an impressive feat. Like you go to somebody's house and like they're showing you all their vinyl collection. They got like every At the Drive-In. My jaw would probably drop. It would drop.
It was impressive for sure.
I'd be a little jelly.
Yeah, it was. She spent hundreds of dollars on all this At the Drive-In shit because she would buy first pressings of everything. So and she didn't start collecting till like 2002. So she had to go back. So she went back and bought first pressings of everything at the drive-in.
Dude, it probably would have cost her double if she did it now.
Oh yeah, easily. So my number 8 is Alfaro Vive Carajo. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly at all, and I don't know what it means. Do you know what it means?
It has something to do with like I fucking read about it. It has something to do with some type of militant thing in some country somewhere. It's something to do with the military though.
Okay.
In a broad spectrum of things.
All right. So this one is their second EP from 1995. I felt like they were progressing a little bit. I heard a little bit of like styles from In Casino Out on this one. Very, very brief glimpses of that style. They were definitely going in the right direction, moving away from the kind of punk stylings of El Paso. This song, my banger off this is Bradley Smith. I think this is the best song they did pre In Casino Out. I think this song is better than everything on Acrobatic Tenement. I love Bradley Smith. It's kind of like this pop punk kind of jam a little bit. It's a standout track. It really doesn't sound like anything they've put out. Maybe on Inter Alia, but yeah, they've never put out a more pop driven song like this. So I really like Bradley Smith. I really like this EP too. I mean, I just had a blast. I listened to all of At the Drive-In's music in one day, and it was so much fun. And then I went back and listened to it again, sporadically throughout the week. But this is a solid EP, their second EP. So Alvaro Vive
Carajo.
There you go. You rolled the R's.
It was.
So what do you got for number 7?
As you were talking, I Googled it. It was like a left-wing militant group from Ecuador. And their slogan was Alfaro Vive Carajo. It probably didn't sound as exciting as that one did.
Probably not.
Stabbing thing. The next one is Diamante. Dude, all the EP. I haven't even hit a fucking record yet. Diamante EP.
That low, huh?
Yeah. This seems like an extension of Inter Alia. A natural progression, I guess, as it were. Cedric's vocals could be a little meh because of singing. Sometimes I don't know if I can fully get behind it, but it's only 3 tracks, so I don't know. It's hard to rank this one properly. Specifically, I had trouble with this one because I do think it's a dope EP. There's a lot of lower end sounds that I do like. The opening song is very de facto sounding. The other 2 songs I think are pretty strong. I just could do without a lot of the singing. But again, it's only 3 songs, so it's hard to even sequence that.
I get it. I mean, I'll get more into it when I talk about it in my rankings because I have some issues with this EP. But so what's your banger off this one?
Whatever the opening song is, I forgot what it's called.
Not Despondent. I can't even think what it is right now.
Arc Arsenal. That was it.
Yeah, Arc Arsenal. Yeah, a reimagining of that song. Okay, so that's your number 8. No, a 7. 7. All right, so my 7 is El Gran Orgo, their third EP from '97. I think this is just an extension of Acrobatic Tenement. I don't know. I don't hear what you heard on this one. I thought this could have just been the B-sides from it, which it probably was, because I think it came out like a few months after Acrobatic did. This is also the only album with Ben Rodriguez on guitar, and famously within the band, or people who who are fans of the band, he was in the band. He was a sociopath, just a really crazy guy, and he tore the band apart, morally. He was just a really terrible. Everybody says he was just a horrible person, and they had big plans for the band during this time, with touring and putting this record out. But then with that guy Ben on top of the record label, shysting him essentially, it was just a bad time for the band. Jim Ward had just left the group, and it was just, the band almost broke up at this point. And but yeah, the Ben Rodriguez guy, everything I've read, they fucking hate that guy so much.
Yeah.
And I was reading more about this tour as well. Their tours, first of all, were insane. How many shows they were playing and how much.
So many. Covered so
like,
much area.
100. They covered 10,000 miles in 100 days. Some shit like
that.
For
a band that has just fucking EPs.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, they have no money. It's fucking insane. But they were at the time they were playing shows with Guttermouth and all these fucking great bands that we love. Can you imagine seeing At the Drive-In with Guttermouth though?
I would love to fucking just see what Mark had to say about At the Drive-In. That'd be so funny. Because Cedric was just squirming in his skin listening to Mark talk.
Oh, I'm sure. Because that'd
have been worth it.
In '97, I mean, this is Musical Monkey era.
Yes.
This is vulgar ass shit, man. The shit that, can you imagine
the slurs
Cedric
were
watching
flying.
Imagine Cedric watching them play Big Pink Dress or Lucky the Donkey or something like that.
He'd have been so uncomfortable. so uncomfortable.
So just thinking about it. All right, so that's my number 7 is El Gran Orgo from '97. So what do you got for 6? Go.
In Casino Out. This is the last one that I would not buy on the vinyls.
You really would not buy this? Holy fuck.
I wouldn't. No.
You are stupid.
It's on my want list, and I took it off. It's gone.
Wow, that is so dumb.
No, I didn't take it off. It's still there, but I'm not going to buy it.
That's unbelievable.
It's a little slower, a little ballad driven. I do like them. Hourglass is a cool ballad type At the Drive-In song, but I need a little bit more excitement. A lot of the songs here are very basic, elementary, seem like blueprints or demos rather than unfinished products. Lopsided, dude, super rad song. I love how simple it can be. The drum part in the chorus is super fucking cheesy, but it works well. I think this album is just it's filler.
That's unreal. Yeah. I cannot believe you ranked it this low. The album's incredible. What is wrong with you?
It's fine.
You must have just
it's fine.
Almost overdosed on stupid pills this week.
I think I think for such a long time At the Drive-In has had this mystique to where everything they've done has just been perfect. They're like the rage of the post-hardcore kids where every song they've fucking done is great. But not really. A lot of their shit is just kind of weak and boring and derivative of the post-hardcore sound, and they didn't even do it that well.
Wow. Okay. All right. And Lopsided is your banger.
Lopsided is a good song.
It is a good one. It's really good. But that one's really
goofy,
good.
Cheesy. But
Unbelievable. All right. My number 6 is Diamante EP. This is their fifth EP, their last one that they put out in 2018, I believe. And the songs aren't bad. They do sound like B-sides from Inter Alia. I remember when it came out, I liked this EP more than Inter Alia. And going back this week, I'm like, what the fuck? Why? No, the songs they're good. They are good, but dude, this EP really lacks good production. It sounds like shit. So they recorded this EP at Clouds Hill in fucking Germany. with your boy Johan. And dude, he put together a absolutely shit sounding record. Like it. I mean, did you notice that at all?
I think there was just a lot of. I thought there was a lot of low end to this. So I think there was a lot of time. Flat. There was a lot of time spent just on focusing on like the low end, whereas like the mid range and like the high end were just like non-existent.
Yeah, no dynamics at all.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible.
So that's
And
I agree.
It almost sounds like it was done in mono. Like it doesn't. There's no like the stereo aspect of it is just it's just such a flat sounding EP. Like it's unbelievable. And they entrusted this guy to do like future things with them. He's like a witch or something. I don't know. He has
guy, dude. This guy.
He has Omar and Cedric under some sort of spell. Like oh my God.
A little black book on him or something, because there's no way that this guy can mishandle so many fucking things and be so obnoxious about everything that all the bad things he's done. He's so obnoxious. So is Cedric, though. Cedric's a fucking butthole, too. He's always been a butthole.
Love him, though. Love Cedric and Omar. Don't love Johan. God, he's so arrogant for no reason. Like he just gets under my skin so much.
Yeah.
And he's not good at what he does. Like this EP, the Clouds Hill sessions he did with Omar, those live sessions, dude, they don't sound. I mean, take the songwriting out of it, which I think is pretty mediocre. I know Skip doesn't agree with me on this, and that's fine. But just the overall sound of that, and just how flat all those Omar sessions sound, it sucks, man. It just, I don't get it. I don't get the appeal. He might be a nice guy if you meet him. I know Skip, he might be a nice guy, but man, the way he acts towards fans and just how arrogant he is so aggravating. It makes me so mad.
Anyway. I mean, that's really like I don't care if you fuck up every single day of your life, but if you acknowledge you fucking up and say, I will try to at least be better tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't care. But that Johan is just, God, he fucks up and like he's like a child. He fucks up and then tries to cover it up.
I think people only like him because he has a bunch of fancy like analog equipment at his studio, and people think it's cool just to record on analog, so they automatically like him. Or maybe he just, like you said, maybe he's like, blackmailing all these people. He's blackmailing Omar and Cedric.
He's got to have something on them.
It's bizarre. I don't. It's so strange to me. I don't understand. But anyway, Diamante EP, my number 6. Enough with my Johan rant. What's your number 5? Go.
Number 5, Inter Alia. Here's where I would start buying these on the vinyls. Good thing I already have it on the vinyls.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because this is every time I do a purge, it's always like, I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. And then I put it on, and like, oh god damn, this is fucking good. Because this is a really, really great album. There's a lot going on when you kind of get into it. And I remember like the big thing was you and Skip had told me to listen to it with headphones on, and it was like a totally different experience. Yeah. And like, God, dude, Omar does rip it up pretty much the entire fucking time.
Yeah, but he's like soloing the whole time, but it doesn't.
He's never super busy. He's never super busy and annoying. He only adds and never takes away, and that's hard to do, especially with Omar. Like Omar can easily just fucking take away if he wanted to, because he's obnoxious sometimes. But it's cool. It's a cool album. It really throws back to like early at the drive-in and does a good job keeping it fresh enough to not just be like a rehash of their already established sound, because this is something different. This is like a different band. This is decades later, right? Hostage Stamps was my favorite this time around. It's frantic, it's crazy, but Omar does a lot of really cool shit on the guitar. A lot of rad scales that lead into this like his own iconic like neck noodling. I guess I'll call it neck noodling.
Neck noodling.
Right, because that's what he's like. Yeah. Like the metronome arthritis, right? The whole neck noodling. Yeah. That's what Omar's known for. That's what he does.
That's true. He does. And look at the Ambitexture record.
Yeah,
it's like covered in that. Oh, I love Ambitexture. But okay, Inter Alia. I can't believe that's extremely low. I can't believe you put Acrobatic above it. That's unbelievable. Ooh. But okay, so my number 5 is Acrobatic Tenement, the first record from 1997. I do want this on vinyl. It recently dropped down to like $60, and I almost pulled the trigger on it on Discogs, but I couldn't do it. But it generally sits in between like $90 and like $120. But I'll get it one day. because I doubt they'll ever repress it. They don't really talk about this record very much. This is the first album with the first full length with Omar. He played bass on this record, and then after the record was made, he switched to guitar and did the tour playing guitar, and then he's been the guitarist ever since. This is also the only album with Ryan Sawyer on drums and Adam Emparum, I believe that's how you pronounce the name, on guitar. And dude, this record is it's fucking awesome, man. I always forget how great it is until I listen to it, and it has enough of like the melodic stuff that you hear on In Casino and Relationship, but it still captures that spastic nature of their first couple EPs of El Paso and Alfaro. And it's just a little bit of, it's just a great transition record, or it's a great transition for the band, even though it's their first record. As crazy as that sounds, they really they did so much with the record that they recorded so quickly. So they recorded this record for only $600. I think they recorded it in like 6 days or something like that. Something insane, like much like the Nirvana's Bleach record. It was done so quickly, and they just did so much. And I think it's fucking awesome. This is also Jim Ward did play guitar on this one, but he was on his way out of the band. He was quitting, and he didn't think that they were going to be using any of his guitar parts. So that's why the guitar does sound a little bit weird on this, because they're essentially just scratch tracks. Like they're not properly, I don't want to say mixed, but not properly recorded. So that adds to like the rawness and like the purity of this, is that a lot of it's just scratch tracks.
Yeah.
It's so fucking killer, man. This is such a crazy cool record. So underrated and forgotten too. My banger is Shafino is how you pronounce it. I don't know, but that's a banger too. Every song that comes on, I'm like, oh dude, I remember that song. I forgot how crazy good this song is, and just Shafino was the one that really, really, really stood out to me this week. So yeah, Acrobatic Tenement is my number 5.
All right.
So what do you got for number 4?
Final 4, baby. Alfaro Vive Carajo. That's my 4. EP from 95. So on the surface, very standard, like post-hardcore sound, thinking Fugazi again. Pretty straightforward, a lot of chords so we can hear, just the early stages of this band. And again, I've come to really, really like, I'm going to just assume like all of like the chord things, even in Relationship, is like Jim's idea, because he's done it in the beginning and he did it on Sparta. So whenever I hear like a chord thing that I like, I'm just going to assume that it's Jim, because I couldn't quite figure out if it was Omar or Jim on Relationship, because there's some parts in there that I was like, damn, I love that. I love that you're using chords there instead of just power chords, or instead of noodling or whatever it is. So whatever. But there's a song on here that also has 2 girls as backup vocals, I guess, who died later on. And that was the basis of Napoleon Solo that Cedric wrote about them.
The girls from Los Drake Tones, right?
Just some band that I've never heard of. Yeah,
I think that was the band that Cedric played drums in, and they were on their way to a gig.
And some short-lived fucking thing. Yeah,
and they ended up crashing and dying. Both the girls did.
But I think this is man, to say that it's like standard post-hardcore is, I think, true in like spirit, but this is like the best of it. This is the best of their post-hardcore era, because this band started off as like hey, I like Fugazi, let's also do the same type of thing. And they do sound like Fugazi a lot in their early days, so much.
Yeah.
But then when Omar gets there, and then even when Omar's on bass, like he's still adding things there that are a little bit quirky, a little bit weird. He's challenging Jim. And this is I haven't got into my Acrobatic Tenement thing yet, but I like Alfaro. Circuit Scene was my favorite track. I can't remember too much about it because I listened to this once because I had to put on the fucking YouTubes. But I do like this a lot. I would buy this on the vinyls, and I wish it was on Spotify so I'd listen to more.
I know, it's such a shame that all these EPs aren't on there. It's really, really a shame.
Silly,
but. Yeah, what are you going to do? All right, so my number 4 is Via EP, third EP, out, what was that, 1999, right? I believe.
Yeah.
This to me is these are the B-sides from In Casino Out. I really just with
these are the fucking B-sides.
I think so.
What?
What? But with like a little bit better production. That's really what they are. That I really think that's what. Not and it's not to take away from Via at all. I just feel like they're songs that just did not fit the flow of In Casino, and that's why we have Via. Okay. That's all it is. It's really not a knock to the songs because they are incredible songs. I mean, I think the best song is my favorite song is Proxima Centauri. You know, just that simple drum beat, just hitting, and then Cedric's stupid countdown, and then it just kind of explodes. Oh. It's so fucking cheesy, and I would hate it if most bands did that, but they just make it cool. Or maybe I just have my driving goggles on. I don't know.
Okay, that's all right.
But yeah, Via, it has a little bit of everything. It has the slower track, it has the faster stuff, the more chaotic stuff. It's a little bit of everything in a very condensed EP. So I dig it. So Via is my number 4. So what do you got for number 3?
Finally, Acrobatic Tenement, their first album.
Took long enough.
First official album. Man, this is so raw, like you said. This is so raw. This is so fun. This is stripped down at the drive-in. It's very, very basic. Omar on bass leads for a different type of at the drive-in experience. Like I said, he's challenging Jim. Jim loves to use those fucking chords, which I absolutely love. God forbid you use power chords. God forbid you just constantly noodle all the time. I like using like chords all. Look at like noodles from fucking The Offspring, right? A lot of chord usage. It's great. I like that. But I feel like Omar's bass playing is challenging him in a way that he's never experienced before, and that's why Sparta doesn't. That's why Sparta doesn't like thrive. Is because no one is there to challenge him. Like, hey man, I like where you're going with that, but it's just not that good. It's not good enough. It's just not.
Yeah,
and just even Omar on bass,
something to accent him.
He's just so fucking quirky on this. He's so weird. He's doing shit that just doesn't make any fucking sense. There's nothing on this album that I think is like oh, that's a great bass line. Oh, that's a fantastic bass line. But everything on here, I think like that bass line is making Jim better. And that's why I think this is so goddamn good. Blue Tag, that song, dude, this was just really fun, a really great punk song. Nothing fancy about it, just fast, straightforward punk rock. Definitely reminiscent of Fugazi.
Yeah. There are definitely Fugazi moments, for sure.
Absolutely love this album.
Okay. It's on your want list then?
It is on my want list.
All right. So my number 2 or my number 3, I'm sorry, is In Casino Out. Second record from 98.
Wow.
Oh wow. This is truly the run. No, I don't want to say runner up. What am I trying to say? Not the demos. It's just what am I trying to say? I don't know. This is something really unique. What?
Sure. No, that's okay.
Sure.
Well,
just the rawness of this record.
I don't get it.
Is so great. The songs are catchy. Every song sounds different from one another. Nothing really bleeds together. One thing that they did with this record was that they actually recorded it live because they had issues with Acrobatic and the EPs to where they felt like they weren't capturing the band's live sound, so they just decided to go in and just do it all live. And I thought that was cool. I like when bands do that. I mean, Rage did that. A lot of bands have done that over the years. It's not new, but it worked really well for them on this record. At this point, Jim is back in the band on guitar. He on Hourglass is the first time he ever sang lead vocals on an At the Drive-In song. This is also the first time with Paul on bass and Tony on drums. So this first time the classic lineup are together recording, and I mean it just shows the level of songwriting gets so much better once Tony gets on drums. I really love Tony's drumming, and we'll get into it on Relationship of Command. But his drumming is really what takes this band to the next level. And it adds so much depth and nuance to the band that they had never experienced up to this point. Because I guess we'll talk about our relationship, but Omar, like you said, he doesn't do anything overly wanky or anything crazy. He's just writing to the songs more than anything else. Like you said on his bass playing on Acrobatic, you can't take anything out specifically that you love. It's just everything that he adds to the songs that's so incredible. And that's what it is on every At the Drive-In record. It's only the Mars Volta where he really winks it up to the point where it can be a little too much. But
yeah, like architecture.
Well, that's wrong, dude. That's where you're wrong, dude. But no, without the drive-in, he's just, God, dude, his songwriting is incredible, absolutely incredible. So In Casino Out is my number 3. I have this on vinyl. I do clear vinyl. It's great. It's an OG pressing. Oh no, it's not an OG pressing. My Relationship's an OG, but no, In Casino was like the 2012 or 2011 repress. So, yep, got this on vinyls already. I'm stoked.
All right. Okay. Wow. Here we go, baby
Here we
boy.
go. What's your number 2 Via EP?
What have you? So Inter Alia is your number 2, and then Relationship.
Possible.
Or Relationship and then Inter Alia, which would make sense because your rankings have already been shit. So my number 2 is Via, the EP, 99. It's funny if you go both ways, right? If you go one way, it's funny how fucking absolute rough this is compared to Relationship. It was just a year prior, but then it's also kind of funny like how much it came from prior, and I think, man, this is so much better than what preceded it. This is not just B-sides. It's just not. This is not B-sides from the Casino.
It wasn't a knock on the EP though.
This is like an album. It's fucking like almost 30, almost 25 minutes, but it's its own thing. All of these songs are its own thing. Like you mentioned Proxima Centauri, which I think is cool to name your fucking songs after anything in space, right? Because that's always like Alpha Centauri, Proxima Centauri, fucking Neptune.
That's all you can think of.
That's all I can think of. I forgot. Oh, Callisto, right? Callisto Protocol. I think it's one of the moons of Jupiter. That's all I could think of on the top of my head.
That's all you got.
But I think Via, like, there's really cool, amazing shit here. Like Omar's guitar playing on Proxima Centauri is great because he's not using a ton of effects. So all of his weird like chords come through. So now we're hearing Omar do weird chords because Omar can do the chord thing just like Jim can. I don't think he's as melodic as Jim was at his peak, at both of their peaks. I think Jim's a little bit more melodic in what he did. But you can hear like Omar kind of come through and like the weird chords that he'll use. And then he'll use that later on in like Mars Volta and stuff. He'll do that stuff. And I think that's great. I think Via is just, if it wasn't for if it wasn't for Relationship, slow down. If it wasn't for Relationship, Via would be like the greatest thing that At the Drive-In has ever done. Because every song on this showcases what they are great at. And my favorite At the Drive-In song in general is just Metronome Arthritis. And that is Omar's Neck Noodlin' at its finest. There's no better At the Drive-In song that showcases Omar's double N. It's the best. It's the best.
It is a good song, but damn, dude, I would never say that's one of their best. No way.
It's that part, that dee 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 dee.
Yeah.
It's just, goddamn, it's so good. But like every fucking song on this is just an absolute banger.
It really is.
And I really like Jim Ward. This whole week, I've just been obsessed with him, and I usually always kind of gravitate more towards like rhythm guitarists anyway, because I'm not a solo guy really. And so Jim Ward, I've really come to realize that, God damn, that guy had some fucking fantastic rhythm. If all of the chord things in Relationship and throughout At the Drive-In is him doing it, which I think it is.
I feel like it is.
Because he started doing it and then he still did it in Sparta. So I think it's him doing it. But damn, dude, the guy has some rhythm.
Yeah, you're right. And also his vocals too. It's not often talked about, but his vocals are really important on Relationship, which we'll get into. And when you compare it to Inter Alia, I mean, it's like night and day.
Yeah,
I love Inter Alia, but I mean, vocally, what Jim added to the band, it really shows
so
once
much.
you hear Inter Alia. Yeah, for sure. All right, so number 5 is, or number 5. Whoa, what the fuck?
Cool.
Well, about that, dude.
Number
2 was Via. My number 2 is Inter Alia, 4th album, 2017, right? 2017.
2017.
First album with Keely Davis on guitar. No more Jim Ward at this point. I like Keely a lot. I feel like I thought his guitar playing on this record was really solid. It accompanied Omar perfectly. Like we were saying, Omar on this record just one giant solo essentially, but it's never over the top. It never takes center stage. It rarely ever takes center stage, I should say. Keeley perfectly accompanies it because he doesn't just play like chords and things like that. He does play little lead parts. He does play. There's a little bit more nuance to Keeley's playing that Jim never really did with Omar. So it's just kind of like, at times, it's kind of like this really awesome back and forth that you get. It's actually kind of a little bit reminiscent to Korn. Just that back and forth. It's really, really fucking solid. Keeley's really underrated. He did a great job with the band during the live shows, the live tours and all that. Cool guitar player, but his vocals never really matched what Jim ever did. Jim has that unique scream, that unique yell that just sounds just like he's like always in pain. He's always hurting.
Dude. Yeah,
great fucking yell.
A good fucking yell.
And at this point, Cedric, he doesn't scream anymore. He hasn't really screamed since Relationship, and which is fine. Like you don't need that. The songs are still great, but Inter Alia, it still lacks that intensity from the 90s, which is, I get it. The guys were in their early 20s. It's a completely different. It's just completely. It's not even the same band mentally,
Yeah.
But Inter Alia, I mean, the songs are great. They're catchy where they need to be. I mean, it's such a well-crafted record from all ends. The drumming, Tony fucking steps it up. I mean, not steps it up because he was great on Relationship and stuff, but I mean, he still fucking kills it on this. Paul, he's really kind of stuck in the background, which he really shines on Relationship. I already talked about Omar and Keeley. Cedric too. I mean, everybody really did a good job on this record. It's a really underrated record. I think the artwork is killer too. I love the artwork, and I got this on vinyl, so I don't give a fuck. It's great.
Okay, I don't get the artwork. I think it's, man.
I think it just looks cool.
I don't care what honestly, it means. I don't think any of their fucking artworks are good. I don't think any of them are good.
I like Via. I like Via a lot.
That one, dude, it's so orange. It's such an ugly color.
I think it fits it so well. I love that cover with
I like the boombox.
Boombox,
but yeah. I think orange is, and I like a lot of stupid fucking colors. I just bought a phone case today that's hot pink, but I can't fucking stand orange.
Your old ass Android,
ugly as fuck. Dude, I have a fucking S10.
What? You just yelled at it. You completely cut out.
Well, because I turned my back to pick up my phone. I have an S10. I have a 5G S10. I have like the biggest S10 you could possibly buy. I have state of the art.
I guarantee you, man, you switch over to a new iPhone, it's going to be life-changing for you. It's going to
needs a new phone, so I might give her my phone because I still have even like the peel on it. My phone's in like mint condition. And
dude, your phone looks like, because you have that original plastic on it, on the screen, it looks like it's a piece of shit.
Like actually, like
so
peeled off like
up.
the top part of it today, just so I could see the underside of it. Dude, it is like it looks so good underneath it.
Why don't you just get like a shatter screen?
I don't know. I've already gone
Oh my god,
fucking 3.5 years with that thing on.
You make no sense at all.
It ain't broke. Don't fix it.
Get an iPhone. Like you didn't believe me with the MacBook, and look at us now. Look at you now.
MacBook. Oof.
Look at you now. It was a game changer. I hate that term.
I will say.
I don't like game changer. But
because like when people say that's a game changer, it's like
it never
discovering fucking pepperoni pizza over cheese pizza or something. It never is. Buying a MacBook over what I've been using was a game changer. Because if anybody out there knew what I was using prior to me using this MacBook, this is a fucking game changer.
A 15-year-old Windows PC. That's what you were.
Dude, my PC doesn't have like Wi-Fi built into it. I buy an external like Wi-Fi fucking antenna thing.
Exactly. So I'm telling you, man, you take that jump into the iPhone, you're gonna like it. You're gonna enjoy it.
There's no headphone jack, so.
Oh my god. Whatever. That part is annoying, though. I will agree. That is annoying. But anyway, let's. Anyway, 0-2.
What's your number one? Yeah, let's 0-2. What's your number one?
Relationship. Come on, Relationship is your number one. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
so
wasn't even close.
Yeah, not even close. So thank you all for listening. Go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Give us 5 stars. 5 stars only. Tell all your friends because we're the best ever. And that's it. That's all. Orders, Lupus.